Pursuing Polaris, NorthStar SailGP Team's podcast, where we get to know all the sailors and people involved in the team. We have a very special guest today. Fletcher Kennedy, our shore team manager. I think you're only the third person not on the actual sailing squad. So I think it's a pretty important role to get to know and get to know you. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much. I'm honored.
So you've been with us since the start. Mm-hmm. You haven't missed a single day of Canada SailGP Team operation.
I've not missed a single day of SailGP.
One could say you're the heart of the team.
I think that might be going a bit far, but yeah, no, it's been a pretty cool ride. Like, I've really enjoyed being with the team, and I'm pretty happy to be there since the start.
Nice. So I guess in the podcast, we just like to get to know people's background, what led them into the role they have today. So you are a sailor first before you were a manager of a SailGP shore team, no?
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of shore team people, I'm a failed sailor. So, you know, a lot of people...
Okay, so just being gentle to yourself.
No, I think a lot of people... like pretty much everyone who works on the team or in the sailing industry has a passion for sailing and started out sailing. And I don't think anyone really starts down that path sailing at their local club thinking, God, I hope one day I can be a boat builder. You know, like, that's probably not their passion. But I think as that goes on, people sort of find their way find their place, you know, like not everyone's going to go to the Olympics like yourself or anything like that. And if you can still be involved in the sport, I think that's pretty cool. And still operating at a high level, and yeah, you just bring something else to the team. So I think that's sort of my background with sailing, and then went off to be a boat builder, did an apprenticeship as a shipwright, and then sort of moved into shore crew roles that way. Nice.
And you've been in you were with the Japanese team in season 1?
Japanese season 1, Spanish season 2, then with Canada season 3.
So you haven't missed a SailGP event since the start?
No. We were working this out the other day. There's a couple of people that haven't missed an event. So Liam Wildish and I think Joe LaRue might be the other one, maybe.
And yourself?
And myself, yeah.
Nice. Since you're a behind the scenes guy, tell us what the shore team manager does. I mean, it's a big role and a lot of responsibility.
It can be, yeah. I think it's like our shore team's not that big. You know, we're only 3 people plus an intern sometimes,
and then
2 other people.
And the tech team obviously gets a lot of help.
Exactly. So that's the thing. Like, in us being only 3 people, we sort of, as much as those, like, we've got 2 great shore team in James Chapman and Fionn Conway, and so they sort of manage themselves, to be perfectly honest. Obviously don't show Greg or Phil this, but, you know, they don't really need much managing, so I don't really do much there. But I think the working with the tech team is probably...
So you're saying your job's easy and you don't want the boss to know?
No. Don't be like that, no. But like the working with the tech team, so obviously the tech team's quite a big... part of SailGP, and we wouldn't be going anywhere without them. But I think a lot of the managing is not so much our shore team as between the sailing team and our team and the tech team, you know, because there's a lot of other stuff going on, and you've got to manage between the different departments and schedules and stuff like that. So I think that's probably where most of the work is. Yeah.
So can you like run us through what so you arrive 4 days before the sailing team?
Here's 3 days. It can be 3 or 4 days. So then we arrive 3 days before, boat out the container with the tech team. So
the whole boat's broken down in the container from the last event, which you would have done.
Exactly, yeah. So we pull the boat out the container, start assembling at day 1. Typically on the first day, the whole boat's assembled. Second day, starting to put fairings on, stuff like that, bows, foils in, setting up for calibration. Third day, finishing setup, getting ready for sailing on what would be the 4th day.
Has there been any events where like that push becomes so challenging that it might not get done and it feels extra stressful, or is it normally you do it so many times that it's pretty easy to get it going in those 3 days?
It's pretty easy. Like, I think in that 3 days we're fine. We don't have heaps of spare time. We also need to pace ourselves, because in that 3 days, if we kind of get burnt out and have to do too much extra work, we've got the 3 sailing days coming up, which are typically longer. So in setup days, I think we average 12-hour days, and then our sailing days will be 13, 14, 15 hours.
And then if there's a bit of a crash, then it can get pretty long after that.
That all goes out the window, yeah.
Yeah. So for an event for us on a 3 days of sailing, the sailing team will be here for 4 full days.
Yep.
And you guys for that would be here for a little over a week?
8 or 9 days. So 3 or 4 days set up, 3 days sailing, 2 days back up.
So it's a big gig.
Yeah, for us, like we obviously hear a lot more days than you guys. So yeah, it's like for me personally, it's almost my only job.
Nice. Yeah, a lot of other people have other things going on, and with shore team, I guess.
Yeah,
it has a lot of days.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, ideally you'll fit in other stuff, but the problem is that with the SailGP events, the spacing never really works out perfect. Someone else will ask you about another regatta or something like that, and it's always clashes by a couple of days, but sometimes you can fit something else in.
Nice.
You just go to the beach.
Just hang out.
Exactly.
So you grew up in Australia, but now you live in Spain.
Grew up in Australia, now live in Spain, got a 5-year-old son, so that's sort of my main focus when I'm home. And this is all right. Like, it is time away, but then at the end of the day, I think it's 100 or 120 days a year away. So
yeah, it's not too bad. It's like it's part-time work.
Pretty much, yeah.
So let's get some SailGP speculation, because I know the job sounds pretty busy, the logistics. The boats spend a lot of time in a container moving next event.
Yep.
They want to get more events. How are they going to do that? From an inside man like yourself, what would you say was going to happen?
Well, with the LA San Francisco event, we did what we call the double header event, which was race one weekend, then race the next weekend. I think there's going to be more of that. So you'll see venues that are closer together geographically.
Yeah.
To truck between the two. There's other ideas.
There's other ideas. Yeah. You should just blank that out. What about the concept of what if they built double the, like, it doesn't Formula One have 2 sets of everything moving to different locations?
Yeah, I don't know if they have 2 cars. I mean, they must, because they crash them pretty often. But I mean, obviously doing the Volvo or something like that, you have 2 sets of containers and workshops and multiple sails that you're shipping around the world, and you work that kind
in the ocean race.
Yep.
Okay, yep. I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's not called the Volvo anymore. It's called the Ocean Race. Well done. So with that, you have like you've got your containers, like your workshop. Like say you're in Cape Town and your next event is Auckland, for example. Well,
the container ship's not going to beat the ocean racing boat.
Absolutely not. So that goes there. Now, obviously, the advantage of that is that the boat takes itself there. Obviously, the sailors have some input, but so the boat arrives, but we don't have that advantage. Obviously, an F-50 is not going to cross an ocean. So, yeah, that would be another consideration. Whether they're looking at it or not, I don't know. I would.
Yeah, fair enough.
Build more boats. Why not?
We're just the speculators, not the ones making the calls.
No.
They should consult us, though.
I think we'd probably solve a few problems, yeah.
I mean, I've also heard your armchair tactics coming off the rib. And, I mean, if we just made the decisions that you make,
yeah.
I mean, maybe there's a couple more race wins in there, no?
Yeah, I'd say a few. I mean, in my head, when you guys don't do what I'm thinking, obviously 100% of the time that works out for me.
Yeah.
But, on the chase boat, we've got a loop between just the people on the chase boat talking on the comms, and obviously...
So it's a private loop. You guys can say whatever you want.
Yeah.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I've tried to get in on that loop when the boat's sailing 4 up, and I just get bumped out.
Well, we kind of turn yours down. We don't let the sailors in on it. No, like it's nice. Like from the rib, for us watching it's kind of hard. Like we are, like I say, you saying we're armchair experts there is probably correct, because we are just spectators. There's nothing we can do, but we're obviously a bit more invested than...
Yeah, you're super invested and cheering the team on. And
So, like, it's all positive, like, but we also sort of live and die a little bit with the team from the rib. Like we hope we're going to do well, and when we don't, well, that's all right. It's cool.
Yeah, no, we got another event next month, and we move on and try and get better. Yeah, it's fun. As a sailor who's normally on the boat, when I'm on the rib, it almost feels more intense because there's no control, and you're just like,
yeah,
are we gonna make that cross?
Yeah, it is. It's like backseat driving.
Yeah,
like there's nothing you can do.
And also, I feel way smarter at sailing when I'm not in the boat. So
yeah, and it's obviously easy from the rib, but you also have absolutely no perspective. You might be half a mile away.
Yeah, that's true.
And so it's pretty easy to get it from there.
Yeah. Well, let's take that back to your sailing. You did quite a bit of ocean. So you grew up in South Australia.
Yep. Like your usual dinghy stuff, mirrors, lasers, 5.0s.
You were like the state champion, no, in like a mirror?
No, junior champion or something. Yeah, I mean, people are still talking about that somewhere, I'm sure.
I don't know. We were pulling up our resumes, and you were like, I'm the mirror champion of South Australia.
Yeah, that's probably on a website. Probably not on the website.
In 1995, I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah. So then you eventually got into ocean racing, or tell me how.
Yeah, sort of. Like I did a lot of like back when it was actually called the Volvo Shore Crew and stuff like that. And then did a fair bit of sailing with Fado, the Mod 70 try. Nice to get out and do some sailing with that. And then that sort of petered out, and then it was like...
That was one design racing in the Mod 70s, or that was...
No, that was after. I think the Mod 70 one design racing didn't really last that long, sadly. They built 8 or 7 or 6 or something. But yeah, they all kind of got mothballed pretty quick, but a few of them kept sailing. So we would race against other boats, which was good, but... Yeah, that kind of fizzed out of it.
And you were sailing on the boat for that?
Yeah, a fair bit of it. Sometimes they'd boot me off if they found someone better.
Wasn't that boat, were you on it when they broke some ocean records and stuff like that?
Yeah, we did a few of those. Like just here, around the Isle of Wight a few times, Transpac. Trying to think of some of the others. So
how long does it take to do a Transpac in a Mod 70? Just 5 days or something?
No, it might be a bit less. I can't remember. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was good. It was a good trip. Like it was slow at the start and then it was pretty bumpy.
What does top speed on that get?
40 knots probably.
Yeah, that's pretty fast.
It is, but it's not fast to do 40 knots because your average, you sort of crash down. As soon as you hit 40 knots, you start to lift out on the foils and then you crash down, you're doing 25. So that's not real cool. You want to do sort of average 35, 36, 37.
Still pretty quick for a boat that's it's on seaboard, so it's not really supposed to foil.
No, it
kind of just lifts out eventually.
Exactly, but that's not quick. You know, like Argo's got foils now. Whether that's quicker or not, it probably is on some points of sail. Yeah, for sure.
And then from there, how did you get involved with SailGP? What was the process there?
Well, some people I used to work with at Artemis, which was Nathan Outridge, Waffler, Max.
Oh, so you did the America's Cup?
Yep. I worked with Artemis for the San Francisco Cup.
Okay.
Which was good. On the shore team as like winch and deck gear in the end. And then, so I worked with those guys and they were setting up the Japan team. So then I came over to work with those guys.
Nice. And then switched to Spain and then Phil pulled you off Spain.
Yep.
And you joined Canada, and you've been here since.
Yep.
So it's safe to say Canada's their favorite of the SailGP experience.
Yeah, for sure. Like I really like the Japan team.
Okay.
A lot.
Yeah, it's like, actually no.
No, I'm not saying no. I'm saying
you had good times in all the teams. Yeah,
for sure. And I think the other thing too is that like it's a very different experience. Like the Japan team was the first year of SailGP, so in a lot of ways that was a bit harder.
A lot of figuring stuff out.
Exactly. And then Spain was a new team coming into an already existing league. And we only had 1 year in that, which was good. And then we had 1 year of the first year of Team Canada, which is always not harder, but you've got those teething issues. And I think it's sort of settled out now. We've got a pretty slick operation. So it's probably easier now than it has been in any of the other seasons.
Yeah, I remember when you were designating jobs and none of us knew what we were doing, and you gave me water. I was the water guy. I was like,
water. It wasn't water.
I'm good for better than that, Fletch.
It wasn't water. I think it was like snacks and drinks. And you were like, snacks and drinks. Is that all I'm good for?
Yeah.
I think I've got more to offer.
Like, he knows I don't know much, but I'm ready to learn.
No, it's good. Like, I mean, a new team's always exciting. New people, new friends. Yeah.
It's been fun. So from the beginning, when you were on Team Japan and everyone was just figuring it out, what is like some like how's it changed, and what were like some of the super inefficiencies, and now it's more streamlined?
Yeah, I mean, it would be easy to be critical and say, not to say that you're wrong in super inefficiencies, but yeah, we have ironed out a lot of stuff. I think the first event in Sydney, we were there for about 6 weeks. You know,
that was just like the normal way to get ready.
And so when you think about that, yeah, we did a lot of training. Everything took forever. You know, like even getting the foils in the boat the first time, like I was like, we're not even going to make the regatta. We're doing this for hours. You know, so we've gone from 6 weeks down to 8 days. Obviously, there's some training cut, which is a lot of time saved. We've got so much better at putting the boats together. We've had new wings. We've now got new foils. So,
yeah, those original wings were quite a lot different. Or they weren't even one design, or
no, they weren't really one design because they were leftover wings from the Cup in Bermuda.
Okay.
So they weren't all the same. Some were from some teams, some were from other teams.
Yeah, and these new wings are pretty good.
The new wings are very good, and they're a lot less work. And so, yeah, it's been all right. I mean, we were 5 shore crew back then. We were at events for weeks on end. It was a pretty different event.
Yeah, big grind.
Exactly.
So in your like day-to-day job, I've asked you this before. I wonder if you still have the same answer, but what's your favorite part of the job?
The on the water stuff, for sure. Yeah.
Before you told me it was the craning.
Yeah, I do like the craning. I do enjoy that.
Because you run the show.
Yeah, but it's been years of that craning. Like, I mean, it's
a bit the same every time.
Which is fine. I mean, yeah.
Well, I appreciate, as sailors, we don't do the craning anymore, but that's new this season, but we always did it. And you always made the same jokes at every point of the craning. So it's just like, it's never not funny because you're just doing it every time.
That's why I had to change teams every year, was to, you know, get the same jokes all the time with new people.
Get new laughs.
Exactly.
Yeah. So who's doing that? So now in the craning, to get the boats in the water every day, you have a tech team, and they'll do every boat. The same crew will do every boat. So the same person doing the same thing.
Yep.
So it's probably more efficient, but that's got to be pretty exhausting for those guys.
Yeah, and they get put through the ringer. Like, I think everybody knows that a lot of the people on the tech team do longer days, longer hours. And so, like, launching one boat is fine. You know, here I am complaining about it getting boring. But if you're there launching, if you're on one crane, you'll be launching 6 boats and retrieving 6 boats.
Yeah, that's wild.
And so that guy might be standing there on one tagline, doing the same tagline and the same boat push for 6 boats in a row. Each boat is 40 minutes. So he's 5 hours each way.
Yeah. And then obviously things don't go wrong very often because it's a pretty streamlined process. But
we couldn't say always.
Not always, no. And actually our team has probably the most historic mishap.
Yeah.
Can you tell us that a bit about that story? I mean, we were both there. What was your thoughts on the whole situation, and how did it go down? I mean, and maybe just for the people who maybe haven't heard, just explain a bit about it.
Yeah, we were sort of craning out, and Sydney's always a good event, but does have the southerly buster, which is what caught us out. But I don't know, like, you kind of get to a point where you're comfortable with everything, and I wouldn't say we were complacent, but we were confident that everything was going well. And we knew that there was a southerly bust to come, and, you know, spoke to the crane guys beforehand who own and run the cranes, and they said, I think we'll get one more boat and then we'll shut down the lifting. And that was with planning with a buffer zone, but we sort of got out, and the boat that was going before us was a bit slower, which held us up 5 or 10 minutes. And then we sort of, you know, I sort of looked over and saw the clouds coming. I thought, this is not ideal. And then it started to get windier, and we had to wait for the other boat to finish their lift, and it was getting windier. The wind swung 180 degrees. And sort of, by the time we worked out that it was too late.
The boat was in the sky, no?
Well, yeah, it was too late. You know, we knew we couldn't have lifted back to the water safely, so we were kind of in for the ride.
Yeah.
And nothing anyone was going to do was going to help the situation at that point. So it was probably the worst case scenario, but also the best case. You know, like that was by far the worst possible outcome.
Yeah.
But also the best in that no one really got hurt. Like I know you.
No one got hurt, but
minor injuries.
Yeah, there was the minor bumps and bruises, I suppose, but it was pretty scary. We thought, didn't we? I don't know if you were in this train of thought, but I was like, our team's got to be over. Like that's got to be the end of that. Like that's the wing is
toast.
Yeah, the wing's done.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, when we sort of worked out that everyone was kind of okay, then obviously you move on to all right, we sort of got away with that. Now what for the team? And it was a brand new boat as well. We'd just got given.
Oh yeah, that's right. We just commissioned it there.
Exactly. And the wing got destroyed. The boat got blown off the cradles, had holes in it. It was a complete mess. And I didn't really know what was going to go on.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sure I was out of a job. I walked back to the hotel and I saw Phil Robertson. I was like, mate, sorry about that. Thinking, okay, it's not.
Yeah, this is pretty much the end.
But he was like, it couldn't have been better with JS, the CEO. Phil just gave me a hug and he's like, man, it's all cool. Like, no one was planning that. It's not your fault. We were, we're all in this together, and the team sort of came back stronger from it. And then in the next couple of days, we sort of found out that, you know, because the next event luckily was in Christchurch in New Zealand, where the factory was at the time that was building all the parts, that perhaps, you know, if we got the boat there quick enough that they'd be able to do some repairs there. And there was another wing sort of mostly finished. So I think it all sort of clicked, you know, stars aligned. Maybe that's a bit too misty-eyed to say that.
Yeah, I know. And then we won the next event. And that was pretty wild.
Exactly, yeah.
But the craning at the next event was was a little on edge. I think we had our short team guy, he left. Jerice had been injured, so I was the only one on the boat who could hook the crane up. Yeah. I was just like, oh my God, this is.
But we should clarify, Jerice wasn't injured in the craning, and Harry was already leaving.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. They just happened. You're right. They happened to be
leaving.
The guys who would hook the crane up when it was on the water, be on the boat, just happened to not be there.
Yeah,
and I was there just like directing a bunch of new people, and I was like, oh God, last time this went real bad. But anyway, it's all good. What are there? You have any other crazy sailing stories from like the ocean racing days or even SailGP?
No, I mean, like there was a period where I felt like there was always a lot of the things that would happen that were bad. I was kind of there for. You know, we had a period of like we broke a foil on Spain and capsized. We had that capsizing Cadiz. And I was kind of getting to the point of like, you know, the first couple of times this was fun, but we don't need any more chaos. And it sort of leveled out a little bit. I don't think SailGP's got too many more big spectacular crashes in the last year or two. You know, it seems to have calmed down a lot. So, which in one way makes it less spectacular to watch, but the racing is a lot better.
And everyone's a little bit better. Well, a lot better at sailing the boats, but better at managing the safety as well. I think the actual sailors at not getting into situations.
Yeah, everyone's got better across the whole board.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how streamlined it feels. Like I remember during that craning accident with the Southerly Buster, I just see all these people who've been in it so long, and they're like, so I just trust that everything's going to be good, and I'm standing there holding the tagline like it's going to be all good, and then it wasn't, and I was just so surprised that like something can go wrong, because normally everything's so streamlined. So there's still some, or I guess that was 3 years ago now, but
no, it always could go wrong, and I think that's also the case of even when you're at an event and the sailing starts.
Yeah,
like obviously that's out of my hands. Then mostly we'd follow you around in the rib, but there's not much we can do to help you from afar. But like even today, you know, we're meeting with Giles and Joe and the shore crew planning this transit from here in Southampton round to the racecourse in Portsmouth. Like, you know, like I think everyone's got to be on their A game, or there's always something that could go wrong.
Yeah.
And I do think that if we had the experience and operated the way we did in season 1 with the venues that we go to and the schedules that we've got now, that we wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
So
it's all very tight, precise timing. There's not a lot of room for error, so it has to be done very professionally. So yeah, that's always impressive to me, is just how it all gets done. Like sometimes it feels like it's not going to come together, and it just does. And there's just so many people in different roles making it happen.
Yeah, it always does. And I think when you look at something and think that this isn't just going to happen, somehow these people magically appear from the tech team. And, even if you're way behind on a morning of launching your boat because you've had a crash down the day before or something, and suddenly 10 people appear and start working on the boat, and it all sort of happens in the end.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Like when the 2 events were back to back, I was just like, I could easily see something bad going down, and the whole second event just can't happen. And I guess, well, obviously it worked out. I wasn't in LA, but I was in San Francisco, and everything was ready to go like a normal event. Didn't happen for one team who got in a crash, but I mean, that was...
That's the thing. I think that as those schedules get tighter, the consequences get bigger.
Yeah.
And so we saw that with LA, but we also see it on a day-to-day race in that, now they're putting in 4 races a day, and there's less time in between each race. And so any issue that you have, whether that be a technical issue, a crash, injuries, or you're just not fully onto it with your timings. And I think that's where the intensity comes in as well for us in the shore team, but we get a little bit of a break between the races. But for you guys on the sailing team, I think it's pretty brutal. Like when you see you guys go out, do some training, probably stop for a drink, launch straight into first race, second race, third race, and there's oftentimes, what are you down for, 3 or 4 minutes between races?
Yeah, it might be a little longer, but it's certainly by the time you're talking about, it's pretty quick. I mean, you have a drink and you're talking about the next race, and then you're making sure you're in position, and then you're going. Yeah. So it's, I appreciate that. I certainly like the way they added the extra race. Actually, on this podcast, I think we were speculating about what we could do better. And someone said, add more racing. It might have been me. I don't remember, and they did. So maybe they listened to this podcast.
I think Russell's definitely the biggest fan. Yeah,
okay, sure. So let's get into it. How would you make SailGP better if you could change anything?
Oof. I think the more regattas, and I know that Russell's going to go, yeah, I know, but like the more regattas, like the big breaks in between when we're changing from continent to continent. And obviously it's easy to say, another fleet of boats or another way of getting more regattas in, but those double header events I think are great. Yeah. Because I think that the breaks in between the regattas, like this is what everyone who's here at the regatta doing it wants to do. All the sponsors want more regattas, all the sailors want more regattas, and I'm sure all the people watching want more regattas. Yeah. So I know that SailGP is working towards that, but I think that's just got to be the biggest push, is more regattas. You're saying more racing in one day, I think more racing in 1 year.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what everyone wants. It's just logistically, it's so hard.
Yeah.
Totally. I don't know, maybe they could do a weekend regatta, like they're doing one in Portsmouth, and then do one that we can sail to. I don't know, do another one that's next weekend in the same place.
They've talked about that, and Russell did, we did talk to Russell about that, and it doesn't really work out.
Yeah, it doesn't have the commercial added commercial value for the cost, maybe.
No, I don't think so. And I think the other thing too that would be a lot better would be the training camp, which I know they're talking about and thinking about adding a place where they can have some training.
Like a boat permanently living there. Yep. That's not part of the racing fleet, and you can go train there. Yeah, that would be awesome. I mean, as a sailor, I just want to sail more. Like the boats are so fun. So when we do, 50 days of sailing, I don't even know if it's that many anymore. After we lost Rio, and well, for me, it wasn't in LA. So this is like the days get pretty low.
I don't think you'd make 50 days.
No. So yeah, that's a good way to make it better. No change of race course or anything like that. You think?
No, not really. Like, I have floated the idea before, and I think all the skippers will kill me. I think that they should somehow have at some point, the women's pathway sailor should have to helm. Like, I think maybe wildcard idea of saying perhaps when you start going down to 4 up or something, then you're
the strategist or the female sailor on the boat has to drive the boat.
Something like that.
I've heard rumors of ideas of some concept. I don't know if it's real rumors or just speculators like us talking, but it's a good idea.
Yeah, I don't know, and I think there's talk. I think there's got to be more of those sort of ideas, or more mixing it up a little bit. And I think as you see the fleet moving, that there's a few people coming up and challenging. You know, in the first seasons, it was always the Australians, and I think that those sort of ideas, maybe that's a way of introducing a bit more of a wild card into the fleet, and giving other teams who could bring in another strategy in that.
Yeah. So you'd have like a few races be the configurations as they are now, and then a few races where the
I think some people would really hate this idea, and I'm not saying it's the best idea, but it's an idea.
It's a pretty fun idea. I like it.
Yeah.
I just in general on the boat, it's fun. Like when we had Billy get injured and we couldn't race, the team's now addressing getting backups in all these specialist roles, and it's fun to learn these other roles and do a little rotation. Everyone should have to rotate one forward and then rotate back, and then just get absolutely chaotic.
I think there would be chaos. I was just about to say, I think that would be chaotic, because you see, when you shift one person out of a key role, you put someone else in flight control, and it's not they're doing a bad job; they're doing very well. Exactly, and it's nerve-wracking to watch, because you can see that now that the boats are going so fast, that minor errors are very hard to correct, and you end up with. So I think if you constantly were moving people around in those positions,
you got to give them some practice.
Yeah,
everyone's got to be like a Swiss Army knife, a little good at every little operation. But I mean, it would be fun to learn some of the other roles. You've actually gotten to do one role I've never done before on the boat, and you got to drive the boat one time.
Yeah, I did. It was...
wait, before you go, you actually told me once, you're like, nah, not interested in really going for a ride on the boat. And then I see you driving, and the biggest smile I've ever seen. So tell us a little bit about what happened there.
I don't know how, but in like the 5 or 6 years of SailGP, my birthday's always been at an event. And we were in Bermuda one year, and Phil Robertson was like, oh, it's your birthday, do you want to steer the boat? And I was like, oh, no, mate, I'll get wet. I'm not doing that.
I'll get wet.
I'm in the rib.
Yeah.
I'm shorting.
Oh, that nice Atlantic Bermuda water.
Exactly.
Don't want that touching me.
Exactly. And then the next year, he said, yeah, I think it was. Yeah. He said, it's your birthday, do you want to steer? And I was like, yeah, I'll give it a go. It'll be good. So we went from... It was with the T-foils. We were T-foil testing. Yeah,
we were the only ones out, and so it would have been a testing day.
Exactly.
And you got to reach just a 90-degree reach straight through the channel.
Yeah, for like 5 or 10 minutes all the way back to base. That was good. And sort of, I thought...
Doing like 85 or something.
And I thought Phil was going to be like... And it was good. Yeah, it was all right. And it was interesting because, you play those like computer games or the simulator, and when you turn, like everybody, the grinders move, and then you think, I'm going to have a bit of a laugh here, and they do. Like and you start grinding a bit, and it is just like a computer game.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I remember coming in, and I don't know who it was. Someone in the SailGP Technologies container who was watching the cameras. I was like, oh, Phil really grew. Who's this tall guy driving? You're just standing straight up. No regard for aerodynamics. Just full standing up.
It was the Giles.
The wind just going straight into that smile.
Giles Scott aero package.
Yeah.
Tall at the back there. It was great. I mean, obviously that wasn't supposed to happen, but once it's happened, you can't really get in trouble. But
yeah,
and I didn't get wet.
True, we were flying.
Yeah,
it was great.
It is, like, I wouldn't say I've sailed every type of boat, but I've sailed on a fair few boats, and it is a very, very different experience. Like, it's not like many other boats, you know, like even like a bigger multi-hull or something like that, you get that feeling like it's a bit sluggish. Yes, you're up in the air because you're on the windward side, and monohulls and stuff, even like on a bigger one, like a Volvo 70 or something that's planing and that, it feels really good, but it is a really, really unique experience sailing on the F50.
Yeah.
I don't think there's probably another boat like it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure, in my experience, it's pretty unique. I haven't sailed on a Volvo 70 or I don't think I've done a trimaran either, but yeah, it's like you're high up, the water's going by real quick, and it's smooth. When the boat's locked in and everyone's doing their roll well, it's super smooth and it feels cool. So yeah, that was fun that you got to do that on your birthday. I remember that day, and it was a good time. It was.
I'm glad I did it.
So when's your birthday? You're in May or
May 3rd? Yeah.
Okay, so hopefully I'll check the schedule. We're back in Bermuda. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
What's your favorite venue on the circuit?
Oh, I think you kind of got to split that into two categories.
Okay.
Which is like favorite venue or favorite sailing venue. Because I feel like those.
So tell me what makes a favorite venue that's not a favorite sailing venue.
Well, if you go somewhere like, for example, Cadiz or Sydney, I always like, but maybe Sydney's a better sailing venue than land venue. You know, like Sydney's a beautiful city. It's one of the great harbours of the world, and it's a nice city. It's a good place to go and stuff like that. And so I think you end up with these places that are very good to go for an event, and then other places are very good to go for sailing. Sometimes those two cross.
Yeah, so here we are in Portsmouth or Southampton, just down the coast. It's not making it into the well, we haven't gone sailing yet, but
sailing is always good.
Yeah,
it's not necessarily that warm.
Yeah,
but it will be good sailing. You've got tide, you've got probably typically wind. There's going to be a crowd. I think it's going to be a very good sailing.
I think it's going to be fun with obstructions on the course.
Yeah.
So the little fort that's right in the middle of our course.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always kind of like the racing when there's something interesting, some interesting local feature. Like in Chicago, there's the wall that you had to come in through on the start box, and Christchurch had those channel markers you couldn't go in between. Yeah. You got Sydney with Shark Islands that's sometimes in the middle of the course. So I think that's fun.
I think that's where what we were talking about before, like being in the rib in the backseat driver thing. Yeah. Like that scares the hell out of us because we have to fix the boat. So putting hard obstacles in the middle of the race course is probably subprime for the people who work on the boats.
It hasn't been an issue, has it? Has anyone crashed into a hard obstacle?
Yeah.
Which one?
Well, I mean, do we have to name names? Like in Copenhagen, 3 boats run aground.
Oh yeah, they're running aground. Yeah, that was no good.
Yeah, pretty hard obstacles. I think
some boats have hit some marks, including us, but those were race course marks.
We haven't hit a mark.
There was a mark moving on the course one time.
Oh, no,
we were going quite slow. The mark hit us. Yeah. So we didn't get a penalty because it was as the logic should go, and the mark is motoring without looking where it's going, automated, and just motors into you when you're trying to cross a boat.
No, well, that was interesting because at that time I was in the coach's booth with Philippe because we got booted off the water at one point. And so I was sitting next to Philippe, like trying to look busy. Not that I'm really much of a coach or data guy, but I kept my laptop with me just to sort of look like I was doing something. And I was
just to fit in with those guys?
Pretty much just texting my mates, like, trying to look busy. And so the race management people were like just over there. And Russell was sort of coming and going back to the Adrenaline Lounge, which is behind us. Pretty good because the race course is there. It's all, like, people pay a lot of money to be in there.
So this is in Abu Dhabi.
Exactly, yeah. And a few other events. But then, like, the whole network went down or something like this. There was some issue with the comms, with the marks and the boats. So all the comms go off and everyone's sort of like taking the headset off. Oh, you lost comms? Yeah. I'm typing away, looking busy, like, oh. And no one knows what's going on. And then it all came back and the comms come back on and all it was just everyone blowing up about having this mark run into us. So I just texted my mates like, oh,
okay. So was that part of the comms issue? Was part of why the mark just
exactly?
went
So no one could control that mark.
Okay.
So
that's why we never heard about a penalty or anything. I wasn't in the umpire debrief after that one, but
no.
That was pretty funny.
The umpire debriefs going off on a. Have you ever sat in on one of those?
Yeah. Okay.
They are awesome. I don't know if the average person can see those.
Probably not. No, I don't think so.
But they are really cool.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
Because the way the umpires go through it and the people involved give their opinion and they talk about what happened.
And then sometimes there's a bit of a debate or a bit of someone's not too happy. And it can be quite entertaining and informative.
Exactly. And it's interesting. So maybe there's an idea for you. There's an idea, Russell. Televise the umpire debriefs.
That's true. And then you could get real juicy and make some dramas.
Yeah, sure.
Whatever sells, right?
No, I think the umpire's debrief is probably one of the more interesting parts.
It's true. It's good graphics too of analyzing the race as well. Nice. Well, anything else you got the mic that you want to say? Oh, like, I guess normally I leave it with we have a lot of listeners in Canada who are, young sailors, want to work in the sailing industry. And I like to ask the guests on the podcast what they would recommend or to, get into a position like yourself.
I mean, if it was like a shore crew job or something like that, I think it's a solid sailing background does help a lot. There's not many people who are working on shore crew roles who have no sailing knowledge. It's not going to get you very far at all. You can. There are people who do it and they normally do their job well, but it definitely helps a lot.
Yeah.
So that would be one thing. And the other thing would be the technical knowledge in one area. You kind of got to have a superpower and a range of other things, whether that was being a very good boat builder and doing some other stuff, good at driving a rib and a very good boat builder, and you can sail, you get a job tomorrow as a shore crew for sure.
Yeah.
So I think that would be my advice, is to sort of see if you can get a few strings to your bow and also be open-minded. We have people who come and do other stuff like Galen Richardson's been on our shore crew before, or Tate Howell, who are good sailors and bring technical knowledge and a good attitude and work really hard. And they sort of learn things and they hang out with you guys. Galen's learned a lot there. And then they can go back to their sailing in another place. Yeah. And I think probably better for having had that experience.
Yeah. So just kind of when you're younger like that and maybe you don't have the technical knowledge, being open-minded, good learner.
Exactly.
And just someone that, the team enjoys having around.
Exactly. And I think that attitude thing, like, I know it's easy to say, like having that attitude, but I think having the drive to want it is a very big difference as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, it's the same it's just being on a team, really. You gotta,
which is hard in a sport like sailing.
Yeah.
Because to be fair, most sailing, you'll grow up on dinghies and you're not sailing on a team. You might be with one other person.
Yeah.
Max. And then suddenly you're in a team of 15 people.
Yeah.
And it's a pretty different, you've changed boats, you've changed a lot of things. And then, that's a big...
Yeah, a lot of the skills from... I mean, you're obviously a good sailor, but if you're sailing by yourself, a lot of the skills, they're not the same ones with the team aspect.
No.
Yeah, I know for myself, I did single-handed sailing for over a decade. That's like really the only sailing I was doing, and I grew up doing team sports. It's like so much more enjoyable for me to be on a team again.
Yeah.
But I forgot what it was like, and like... You're not the center of attention for your own program anymore. You're a role player, and it's important to have the right attitude in that. So yeah, that's cool. Well, thanks a lot for coming on.
No, thank you, man.
I wasn't sure you were going to be down to do it, but you were good.
I said no, and they told me I had to.
Oh, okay. It's part of your job. You didn't read the fine print in your contract. You have to podcast on Pursuing Polaris.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
What else does it say in there?
A lot of things I missed. Well, thanks for coming.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me.
I appreciate it.